Yeah, let us start with array of pointers. So first of all, let us understand why we need this array of pointers. What are the advantages we will get when we go for array of pointers? Assume that you want to represent a 2D array in a memory. Okay, generally, let us consider a character array for easy understanding. So here I want to declare a character array which is used to store array of strings. Okay, a string itself is a character array. So if I want to store array of strings, I need 2D array. Remember, if I want to store my name contains many characters, so I have to declare that as a character array. If I want to store name of 10 students of my class, then if I declare simple character array of one dimension, I can read only the name of one student. But to read name of multiple students, I need to declare 2D array. Okay, so here I am declaring a 2D character array called name with 5 rows and 10 columns. So when I declare an array with 5 rows and 10 columns, I can store the name of 5 people, and each name can have maximum of 9 characters only, because the last character is always used to indicate the null character. So with this array declaration, I can store name of five people, and each name will contain maximum of 9 characters plus one terminating character, that is a null character. Now let us consider this array to store the name of some cities. So I am storing the name of the cities. If you consider this array, it will occupy totally 50 bytes of memory, because every character is going to occupy 1 byte. Okay, so in this I am declaring that there are 5 rows and every row is having 10 characters. Just a minute. So in this, I am declaring that there are 5 rows and every row is going to have 10 columns. So totally I have 50 elements in that. Okay, and the size of each element is 1 byte, because I am storing character in that. So if I want to store this array in the memory, totally I need 50 memory locations. Okay, and in this, every row size is fixed in this representation. Okay, when you use character name of 510, it means that every row can have 10 characters as a maximum, including the null character. Okay, suppose if you declare instead of 10, if you declare as 100, every row can have maximum of 100 characters, including the null character. And if I am giving the name as a small name, for example, if the student name is only Raj, I have allocated totally 100 character space, but I am storing only 3 characters as Raj. So what happened to the remaining 97 characters? They are wasted. Okay, so when you declare a character array like this, if your string is less than the size specified for every row, then you are wasting a lot of memory space. So this results in a ragged array. Okay, so the disadvantage of this representation is most of the memory is wasted if your string is very small in size. So how to overcome this disadvantage? We cannot tell every student that your name should have 50 characters always. It is not at all possible. Okay, so what is the solution for this? To overcome this disadvantage, we can use the concept of dynamic memory allocation along with array of pointers. Okay, so that only we are going to see now. Hope you understand why we go for this approach. If you go for a 2D array of characters to represent the name of either people or cities, every row is going to contain certain number of columns, fixed number of columns. We can't change it. Okay, so because of that, if you store small number of characters in a particular row, it is going to waste the remaining space. So because of this, we are wasting lot of memory, which is a precious one. So we want to save it. So for that only we go for the array of pointers. Now let us see the memory representation of this particular array. If you consider here, I have 5 rows and every row is going to have 10 columns. So the first row I can access as name of 0, and the second row as name of 1, 2, 3 and 4. If you take here, the column index is from 0 up to 9. Okay, so if I want to access a particular letter, I'll be using first the row index followed by the column index. For example, if I want to access N of Bangalore, I have to use name of 0, 2. Okay, so if you see in the first row, totally 10 columns are allocated. I have used all the 10 columns. In the second row, totally 10 columns are allocated, but I have not used the last 2 columns. Similarly, in the row with index 3, the last 3 columns are not used. So here some space is wasted, but not more space. Some space is wasted because I have taken 10 as the number of columns. If the number of columns is 100, more space will be wasted for this particular array. So the memory representation for this one is name of 0 will be stored starting from 2000 up to 2009. Why it is 2009 is every row is going to have 10 columns. So if you have the 2000 as a starting address, to get the ending address, add 9 to that. That is n minus 1. So you will get 2009 as the ending address. Similarly, you can find the starting and ending address of the remaining rows. So for this entire array, totally 50 bytes of memory will be allocated, starting from the address 2000 up to the address 2049. You can see my cursor movement up to the address 2049. Now let us go for the efficient representation of this array in the memory. Now, instead of representing that as a two-dimensional array by means of static memory allocation, if I go for dynamic memory allocation along with array of pointers, I can reduce the memory requirement. So how it is possible? Let us see this. Now we are going to create array of pointers. So what is the size of the array of pointer? That is nothing but how many rows you have in your 2D array, that will be the size of the array of pointers. Okay, so let us consider the previous example. Here in our 2D array, we have totally 5 rows. In every row, we are storing the name of one city. Okay, so now you have to create array of pointer. Every pointer will be pointing to one city. Okay, here there are totally 5 cities. So I need to create 5 pointers now. That's why I go for array of pointers. So if I tell you simply create a pointer, you will write star PTR. Okay, and the data type here, it is going to point to character. So you will write character star PTR. That is for simple pointer. But now I want to create an array of pointers. So what is the syntax for array of pointer is write the data type followed by star, then to represent that is a pointer variable. Then what is the name of your variable? Then within square bracket, you tell how many pointers you want to create as the array. So here I want to create 5 pointers because I need to point to 5 different cities. Now, in this pointer variable, what you are going to store? If you consider the diagram, you can easily see from the diagram, in the pointer variable, I am going to store the starting address of the memory location allocated to each city. For example, if you consider the first city, it is Bangalore. It is totally having 9 characters plus 1 null character. So totally 10 character space. So here you can see I have allocated totally 10 character space for Bangalore. Whatever is the starting address of that memory, that you have to store it in this name of 0. Okay, suppose if the starting address, if you assume that B is stored in the address 2000, in name of 0, you have to store that address 2000. Okay, likewise, next you read Chennai from the user and allocate memory for Chennai according to the size of the string you read. Okay, so here for Chennai, totally including the null character, I have to allocate 7 characters. Okay, there are totally 7 characters, so I have to allocate 7 bytes in the memory. So if it is starting with 2100, it will allocate 7 bytes from 2100 up to 2106. So the starting address will be returned to you by means of the pointer that you store in name of 1. That is nothing but again it is a pointer only. But since it is an array of pointer, it is the second element in the array of pointer where we are storing only the address. Remember, in array of pointer, you will not store any data variable. You will store only the address variable. Similarly, I am storing the starting address of everything. Okay, so likewise I can proceed. So now what is the advantage of this approach is, you can see here in case of this Bombay, I have created, when I create the Bombay, I will create only the memory that is required to store Bombay. I will not allocate any extra memory. Okay, so I can reduce the memory requirement by this particular method. Okay, so this array name contains 5 pointers. This one, array name contains 5 pointers. Each pointer will be pointing to the starting address of a particular city name. Okay, and every city name is having different size. Therefore, we are not wasting any memory in case of this type of representation. So let us see a program to understand this. Then it will be clear for you. So try to understand the question. We are going to create an array of pointers using dynamic memory allocation. Then you have to read and display the name of 5 cities using this method. Okay, whenever they give you dynamic memory allocation, they will see how much memory you are saving. You should not create any extra memory by this method. Okay, that is very, very important. So let us see the program now. First, they have given that you want to read the name of 5 cities. So you are going to first declare array of pointers. So I am declaring array of pointer character star name of 5. Why it is name of 5 is, in the question it is mentioned that I need to read the name of 5 cities. So I have given like this, right? Then what I am going to do now, I want to read the name of the cities from the user one by one. So I'm going to, as a user, enter the name of 5 cities. Then using for loop, I'm going to get the name of the cities. So in the for loop, I have to start the index with 0 only, because this index I'm going to use to refer to this particular array. Okay, so don't start with, whenever you have program related to array, don't start with index 1. Okay, so I'm going to start the index with 0. For I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Now, what I'm going to do, you are going to first read the name of the city from the user. Since the name of the city is a character array, that is a string, first you declare a character array for reading the string. Okay, so for that only I have declared str of 10. So this character array, even though this is having the size as 10, don't worry, if your name contains 3 characters, you will be wasting only 7 characters with respect to this array. Okay, you are not going to waste so much. Only one small array you have declared here. So now I am going to read the name from the user. For that I am going to use the function getAs. Then I am passing the name of the array, which is nothing but str. Now you have to allocate the memory. We are not allocating memory before. Now only we are going to allocate the memory. How much memory you want to allocate? For that, you read the name from the user, then count how many characters are in the name typed by the user. Okay, for example, here you can see user is typing Bangalore. Bangalore is having totally 9 characters. Now I have to allocate memory after reading this only. So now I will count how many characters are in Bangalore. There are 9 characters. Then I will add 1 character to that extra, because I want to terminate the string by null character. Then I will allocate the memory. So you are going to allocate the memory after reading str only. Now, how to allocate the memory? I am going to use the function malloc. How many arguments we need to pass to malloc? Only one argument. The argument is nothing but how many bytes you want to allocate. Okay, so now you calculate how many characters are there in the array by means of strlen of string. String is your city name. In that, how many characters are there? That I am going to count by this function. Then I will add 1 to that. Since my character is going to occupy 1 memory location, I am going to use this as such. Okay, right. So now this I am going to give to the malloc function. What this will do now? Allocate memory according to the size of this one. Then it will return a void pointer. Okay, that pointer, where are you going to store? Now you got the name of only one city. Let us go to the previous diagram so that you will understand. So now the space for this Bangalore is allocated starting from 2000 up to 2009, and it will return the starting address. The starting address is nothing but 2000. This will be returned by the function to you. Now you have to store this address in this place. In name of 0, you have to store this address. That only we are going to do. So this name of 0 is nothing but pointer. There we are going to store this address. Now let us see how to do that. So it is returning to you the address that is allocated. For storing the first name, you store that in name of 0. First, when you are starting, I is 0, so I am storing in name of 0. After that, what has been happened in this particular line is only the memory for storing Bangalore is allocated. Next, you have to store Bangalore in that particular memory location. So how to store it? For that, we are going to use the function string copy. So in string copy, we are going to pass two arguments. The first argument is the destination string and the second argument is the source string. So your data is available in str, so that you write as a second string that you want to copy into the memory, which is there in name of file. So when you do this, you will copy the data in the memory allocated by the malloc function. Okay, so now you repeat this step for all the 5 cities one by one. Now, how we are saving the memory in this particular case is in line number 10, there only we are allocating memory for our city name. There we are allocating the memory based upon the number of characters typed by the user. Then we are adding 1 to that. We never allocate any extra memory. Okay, so because of this, we are going to save the wastage, save the memory. Okay, so now we got the data and store the data in the memory. What is the next step? You have to print the name of all the 5 cities. So for that, again, we are going to use the pointer concept only. So to print the 5 cities name, I am going to again use the for loop starting from I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Now, how to print the data? To the putters function, you can call the function putters to print the string. For that, you have to tell where is your string. Okay, what is the string you want to display? For example, if I want to display hi, I will write putters within bracket, I will write double quotes hi. Okay, so now what I want to display? Where is my data available? For that, let us go to this diagram. So I want to get this address. Okay, first I will get this address. Then I will go to this address. I will take the content. Okay, so this getters function, putters function will start reading the characters one by one till it encounters the null character. When it encounters the null character, it will stop reading further. Okay, so for that only, all the strings we are terminating with null character. Now let us see how it will work. So in the putters function, I am giving name plus I. Name is nothing but that is the starting address of your array of pointer. When you write name plus I, it will refer to the ith pointer. Now what you will have in the ith pointer is address of a particular city name. Okay, now you have to go to that place to access the city name. So you need to get value at that particular address. So now I am writing star in front of that so that I will get a value. Remember, here if you write only name plus I, it will give you only the starting address of a particular city in the memory. But we need to print the value of the city, so write star before that. Okay, so now if you do this, the name of all the 5 cities will be printed in the screen. And remember, putters will print character by character only. It will stop reading the character when the null terminator is encountered. That's why we always say terminate all the strings with null character. Okay, and finally, what is the last step? Always when we allocate the memory by dynamic memory allocation, since the memory is allocated in the heap area, compiler will never take any step to release the memory. It is our responsibility. So now, what memory you have to release? Let us see the diagram. So now you can see we have to release all these memories. All these memories we have to release. So the first memory is allocated by one malloc function. The second memory is allocated by second malloc function. Totally, we have called the malloc function 5 times to allocate the memory for this particular 2D array. So you have to again call the free function 5 times. What is the reason is, every malloc will allocate 1 block of memory. For Bangalore, you have called malloc 1 time to allocate 1 block with 10 characters totally. Then for Chennai, we called malloc second time to allocate memory for 8 characters totally, and so on. So you have to call free that many number of times. So let us see how to call free. So for that, in free, what we will be giving as argument is the memory's starting address of that particular block. Okay, where is the starting address of that block available? That is nothing but this block is having the starting address as 2000. This 2000 is available in name of 0. Okay. Similarly, the starting address of the second block is available in 2100. That is nothing but name of 1. So these things I have to give in the free function to release the memory. Let us see, generally in free function, we will give pointer only. Here it is again pointer. What is this name of 0, name of 1, name of 2? They are all pointers only. So that we have to give in the free function, but you have to call the free function 5 times instead of 1 time. We can't release all the memory by using only one free function. That is not possible. You have to call this 5 times. Now let us see how to call the free function. So since you want to release, deallocate the memory 5 times, you have to use a for loop again. So I'm writing for I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Generally in free, we will give free of PTR. Now PTR is nothing but not one pointer. We have array of pointers. So you have to access every element by means of name of I. When you do this, you will free the memory of the entire 2D array.